All right, everybody. Welcome into the 5G Live podcast with Brian Castillo and Eric Coronado. Today's topic is going to be gains and gyms. So, Eric, why don't you just kick us off talking a little bit about your kind of fitness philosophy and journey here?
Well, honestly, most of my fitness journey has been what I call the prison style workouts because I hated going to the gyms where everyone's kind of just packed in there, and especially like with this newer generation where like everyone's on their damn phones and like just hogging up all the machines. So for the most part, I get all my workouts in like at a park doing pull ups and push ups, like mostly body weight stuff.
So you're getting in, getting out. You like to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
I'm in and out in an hour.
Okay.
If I am doing weights, I'm usually in there in and out in about an hour.
Yeah. So you're efficient. That's good.
Yeah, I try to knock everything out as quickly as possible and get the hell out of there. So that's on the weight side, and then for the fun side, I've told you guys I like to do my climbing. So I've been doing that for like the last year. So I mean that'll really pump you out. That's a whole different strength that's involved with that. And then the other cool thing about it was whenever I started, like I sucked, and it's fun, dude. Like especially like me being older,
Yeah.
like sucking at something, and then like you see your progression. You're like, oh, like I'm actually like doing harder rated stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And so as you get older, I think it's a good thing to suck at stuff and then get better, and like it really does something for the mind.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Kind of contrary to you, so I've played sports my whole life and things like that, and that was kind of like my main workout and whatnot. But then, I mentioned, I think in our Grub episode, like I used to be 270 pounds and not in a good way, so I started hitting the weights and stuff in college, but I kind of like the accountability factor of the gym. I kind of just like going there. It's not a social event for me either. Like I'm probably one of those people with like "fuck off" written on their forehead. Like I'm there to do work. I'm putting work, get it out. I've gone through having weight partners and going by myself most of the time throughout the years. But yeah, the gym has been my sanctuary, man. And I realized how fragile our worlds are this year with 2020, as so many of us have. I was told I could not work out, I could not go to my gym for 3 months, man. Like, that was fucking terrible. And then on top of that, you couldn't even get gym equipment. If you could find it, you're paying a premium, man. The dumbbell set I have at home, freaking Bowbell dumbbell.
It's a Bowflex, right?
Bowflex dumbbell set. Okay, adjustable 5 to 55 pounds. I paid, I think, $250 for that like 3 years ago. I just have it at the house, if I need to get something in quick. And that was going on eBay for $1,300.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I was like, man, I want to sell these, but then it's like, well, shit, am I going to be at home the rest of 2020? I mean, with this Rona thing, and so I had to get pretty creative, man. So I was doing some workouts at home. I got an app. My wife got me to do a few of her workouts, which kicked my ass. But, for those of you who are avid lifters or gym rats, or you do the weights and you see that progression, like you can only simulate heavy weights so much. Even though body weight workouts are really good, you can get really cut and lean doing that. But man, I miss my weights. Dude, that just hurt my mental health too.
Yeah, this just kind of popped into my head, which is probably a good bit of advice as well. Like people that were older than me, they kept telling me, "It's like just wait till you turn 30, man. Wait till you turn 30. The shit's just gonna start hurting. Like you're gonna wake up one day and shit is just gonna hurt." And sure enough, man, I was like 29 years old, and then I sort of blew out my hip, so I had an unbalanced hip. So I was like doing rehab for like a year. So the advice would be start doing yoga now. Like start doing stretching.
So hold on. With that, are you advocating for because I know there's pros and cons that have gone back and forth over the years. Like, do you stretch before a workout? Are you just stretching daily as like a routine? What would you recommend to people?
So usually when I wake up in the morning, like I stretch out for like a good 20 minutes.
Really?
And then if I go work out, I'd probably do like a quick little, like just get everything loose, and then I stretch afterwards.
Okay.
And it sucks every single time. Like it's never gotten any better in terms of like it's just not fun to stretch, man. Which is kind of why I neglected it when I was younger. And then, like I mentioned, it's like sure enough, when I got older, it's like just blowing out the hip. It was terrible. Like I
Yeah,
was out for like a
yeah.
year. The but yeah, man, like yoga, like it's I used to say that this is my girlfriend on YouTube. Her name's Yoga with Adrienne. She's solid, dude.
Oh,
The
I haven't heard
yeah,
of
no, she's in Austin. She has a dog. She might call me back. I don't know.
it.
The but yeah, her videos are like pretty good. Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, start
Just
doing yoga.
Justine loves yoga. She's always trying to get me to go, man. I am just well, and I probably should start doing that. I am not flexible, and yeah, stretching is something I struggle with too. But as you said, like I'm approaching 30, like that shit's real, man. Even though you're supposed to kind of get like your man strength when you're in your 30s, but that is real. I definitely feel it sore longer. You know, recovery time when you do hurt yourself takes a little longer. So you definitely got to take care of yourself. But you know, how did you manage? I know you don't join. You're not a member of like a traditional gym, but you do. You are a rock climber. You said you do indoor rock climbing. Like so, I'm sure that was closed during Rona. You know,
Yeah.
what were you doing during the ban, if you will?
So I was doing a lot of hiking with the dog, and then I've always been a runner. The so back when I was going to school over at Texas A&M, the I think I was part of like 3 or 4 different like running
Yeah,
groups,
yeah,
and then I was also a part of like kind of like a CrossFit group. So I still got a bunch of that knowledge that I can use, but for the most part, yeah, it was back to my prison workouts. I was just going to the park, the doing pull ups, dips, and doing running, and that was keeping me sane. The but like I still wanted to have fun. The
yeah,
I was kind of craving the like social aspect of it, like
yeah.
going to the climbing gym and kind of hanging out with people. So that went away, and that was yeah, that was a whole new struggle. I mean, what about you? I mean, you get up. You're one of those like early bird risers, right? What time do you normally get up?
Yeah, so you know, I typically get up about 4:15 in the morning,
Shit.
and I get to the gym when it opens. And I've only been doing that really from Rona because you know we work together and we have a really nice gym where we work, and so that's what I would do on my lunch break. It broke up the day really nice. You know, the only downside there is I couldn't incorporate my cardio really at lunch because I didn't have time to shower too.
Yeah.
So you just kind of putting the deodorant stick in the bag and saying a prayer, I guess, that you didn't sweat too much. Although I don't really, I've never been like a profusely sweaty guy. Like my one friend, it's funny. I call him the Great White Ape because this dude is just a behemoth. He's about 6'2", like 270 pounds, probably like 12% body fat, just like an absolute, male specimen. And but I swear he sweats probably 2 gallons of water weight every time I go to the gym. It's disgusting, man. You gotta like take a towel.
That might be a
for
medical
him.
problem, honestly. No, I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah, I think they have like salt pills or something for that.
Yeah, he doesn't really believe in doctors. You won't get him going to one anytime soon. And quite frankly, what we've seen from doctors, I don't blame him too much. But we won't get into that too much. But yeah, like that, that's one thing I will say that is a positive with the pandemic that I've seen since going back to the gym is people are like, this new concept of wiping shit down before and after. Like that's a good
etiquette.
thing.
Yeah, the etiquette.
Yeah.
You want to get into etiquette in the gym, or
Okay, yeah, we can get into gym etiquette, but
we'll
you
circle
were
back.
you were asking me about I kind
Yeah,
of
what
went
time
off
you
the
wake
road.
up?
So yeah, I like to go at 4:30. I wake up about halfway through my workouts typically. I work out. I like to get in 6 workouts a week, even if one of those days is just kind of what you were talking about, where you maybe do some stretching, some pull ups, some core. Like
Yeah,
I might not necessarily hit the weights that day, but I always hit my core muscle groups. And then I usually take at least one rest day. And I know, especially when I was younger, like I was like, no, I got to be there like 7 days a week. But there is a law of diminishing returns. I'm sure there
yeah,
has been proven studies around it, but definitely get your rest days in, people. And but no, similar to you, not necessarily prison workouts, but I got creative with the dumbbell set that I had. bought some resistance bands. I was able to get up to 150 pounds, so got creative there. I had a pull-up bar at the house, so you know, for those of you that are just starting out or kind of trying to get into it or ease into it, I'm telling you, if weights are intimidating or you don't want to be going to a gym like Eric was saying, or maybe even in the Rona environment, you're still not very comfortable being out in public. Pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and body squats and lunges will get you very far, my friend, to start.
About how many people are at the gym whenever you show up there in the morning?
So it's gotten better. So let me give a little bit of perspective with the pandemic stuff. So we were allowed to go back the week of June 5th. So that was about 3 months since they were shut down.
It's at 25%, right?
Originally it was 50.
Yeah, I remember that. Then knock it down.
But and originally you just had to wear a mask when you walked in, and then like as you were walking in the public areas. But as you were at a machine, you could rip the thing off, do your thing. Well, of course, circumstances change. They cut them down to 25%, and then you have to wear a mask at all times now. But to your point about people being there, I would say in the beginning, there was a kind of nice surge, but then once the mask thing was like mandatory the whole time,
it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like I cannot. I'm one of those people that get headaches when I fucking wear that stupid thing. And like I see all these people, like I'm running a marathon, and it was like you're full of shit. Like I know you were miserable, because I am miserable. Like just wearing the damn thing. Like I really do get headaches.
So I will say, yeah,
but yeah,
I agree with you. I hate doing cardio with it. Like as far as weightlifting though, like your big lifts, like your squats or your deadlifts and stuff, it's really hard to catch your breath.
Just suck in that air.
Yeah, because breathing it in and of itself is fine, but as anyone who's been lifting for a while or even experienced runners like yourself, you know that your breathing pattern matters a lot, right?
Yeah.
And your breathing cadence and sequence, and so that definitely gets interrupted with a mask, and it does fucking suck. But as with anything else, people have found workarounds. And
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. The pandemic gym etiquette is you better wipe everything down. You're gonna get dirty looks every time you take off the mask, even if it's just to drink water. And everyone now carries around a bottle of water because that's the thing.
Constantly slipping it. I'm just, I'm drinking. I'm keeping the mask down because I'm sipping. Okay.
But I think people have been respectful for the most part, right? Following the rules, things like that. But the people that are going, I mean, typically when you go that early in the morning, for those of you who are gym goers, you know that it's typically an older population. Right,
that early?
Yeah, because especially when you get older, I could see myself taking part in it too. If you're retired and stuff, the gym is very social, kind of like you were talking about. It is kind of a social community watering hole that you happen to pay for, and so a lot of older people get together, and that's what they do. They go work out together, and or they do the classes, which are still not available. But anyway, you aren't seeing those older folks. I would say. Now the age range you're seeing is anywhere from like 19 probably to max. Like there's a few 50-plus-year-olds, but not many.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember. So the only time I was ever consistently working out that early in the morning was back when I was in the Navy, and so when I was living in the barracks and the gym was right there. And so just to give you a perspective as to how far back that was when NO Explode was a thing. Did you catch that craze or no?
Dude, the original Jack
formula? The original one chemical compound away from meth, like where you were just jacked. So we used to take that stuff before we would go work out.
How early?
So around the same thing. We were waking up at like 4:30, and then the gym would open at like 5. So I would try to wake up, take some of that stuff. Kind of eat like a little bit, and like it would give my stomach enough time to kind of like settle things down a little bit, and I would go work out.
Yeah.
But dude, I remember when the gym wasn't open, because there was this is a military, like somebody has to come in and like open it for you.
Oh yeah.
But it's like some dumb shit kid who like overslept oversleeps his alarm. So now the gym isn't open, and like we're all just waiting there. And after like 20 minutes, he just kind of give up, and it's like, all right, well, I guess like I'll go home, get breakfast, and then go to class. But yeah, whenever we would take that NO explode, and then we couldn't work out. Like I just remember like shaking in my chair, like this is not good. Like it was just like you could feel the power of that stuff.
And your face ever get itchy?
Oh yeah, like that, like I would be like beet red. I would have like red spots on my face.
You're like that crackhead freaking scratching your face. Yeah, no, well, a little science fact. That's actually the amount of a compound called niacin that they put in there, and that's what you're experiencing in there. But yeah, dude, that original Jack formula, like, yeah, it was like doing lines, man. You were just ready to go. Like your heart's pumping in your chest. You don't know if you're gonna make it through your workout or not. Like, no, that was good stuff. And then I got the tail end of that, and then the original C4 formula, like right before Costco like started carrying it, they weakened the crap out of it. They totally neutered it. Like C4, man, was awesome. Another good one was Hyde. I don't really do pre-workout anymore. I mean, we could do a whole episode on pre-workouts.
Is that still a thing? Do people still do that?
Oh yeah,
it's been a while since I haven't gone to. Is GNC still a thing?
Yeah, GNC is still a thing. Yeah, GNC is still a thing. Like I'm an Amazon guy myself, right?
Okay.
I like to just order stuff. I'll even get all my supplements and things like that on Amazon. I mean, they have their own product lines and stuff now. But no, pre-workout's still a thing. Actually, you're talking about that with the Navy and stuff. When I was at General Mills, right, it's 24 hours at the plant. And so, hell, there were people who, like, would take a few scoops before night shift, man. Like 3 or 4 scoops just to get them through the night shift. And we had a gym on campus there at the plant. And so you'd work out. Some people did that instead of coffee, but.
Did they have a gym?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Same thing. My brother works over at a plant, and they got a gym there. So, sometimes they get stuck out there for whatever reason. He's like, yeah, just hit the gym over there. I was just curious about that.
I'm a big fan of gyms at work, man. It just really breaks up the day. It's a nice perk. I'm glad more employers are doing it because, it gives you an excuse too. Like, because we always make the excuse. You'll hear that a lot, right? Like, I don't have time. I don't have time to work out, or like it's bullshit. Right?
Yeah, just bust out 30 minutes somewhere, cardio, jump in the elliptical, even if you're hurt.
Probably bike if you're hurt. I've jacked up my ankle a few times.
On the elliptical?
No, playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
But when I ease back into it, like trying to strengthen it up, do cardio, I'm not, like running on it. I'm doing the bike. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
If you have a leg injury or something like that. But no, I think. Getting up early, I don't advocate for it. If I had my preference and we were still going into the office, I would like to break up my day at lunch. But and some people really like the gym after work, but that's when it's a jungle, man. Like, everyone's there. You're waiting on shit. Like, I hate it. And I think that's a great segue into talking about etiquette. So, like, if Eric Coronado had some gym rules, what would you be talking about? Like, what is your etiquette? What's your ideal gym etiquette?
Honestly, I still like the old school basketball gym that gets converted into like a weight room and it's just like bare bones.
Okay.
Like that is what I like. That is what I grew up in.
So what's bare bones?
So bare bones would be your free weights, a couple dumbbells, and what's the kettlebells as well.
Okay.
A few of the machines, but like they just get like way too like specialized for me. And I was like if you keep it down to the bare bones, squats, was it squats, bench, was it deadlifts, the couple boxes, pull-ups, you can do so much with that.
Okay.
And especially with the versatility of like with dumbbells, you can do everything in there. And again, my thing is I get in, I get out. I normally don't talk to anybody.
So ideally in your scenario here, etiquette would be people are there to put in work.
Yeah, you put in work and you get the fuck out.
No one's messing around.
Because again, back when I was like consistently doing the gym thing, I started to notice like the cell phones like creep in and like people were like fucking doing their TikTok or whatever the kids are doing now.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just hogging up like all these different spots. They got like four. Oh, that's a good one for the etiquette. Don't hoard all the dumbbells because you have like the one dude with like six different weights, and he's got all the ones that you need from like 25 to like 45.
Yeah, they're the most popular ones.
Yeah, like the most popular ones, like yo asshole, like you're on your phone, you've been on your phone. Like I need some of these, and but I mean, which is fine. You can have them, but you can at least share. Like I hate that. It's like, hey, like, can I just grab a few of these real quick? And like, you get like, oh.
See, I empathize with you, but I've almost thrown blows with somebody at the gym who came up to me and told me to get off my fucking phone. And like,
yeah, you should have got the fuck off your phone. That's
no,
on
man,
you. That's on you.
Hey, no, context matters, dude. So I had just done a set of leg press, and one thing that I like to do is I don't like to waste time. So depending on what workout routine I'm doing, I will set a timer on my phone, 30, 45 seconds, minutes, whatever rest I feel is adequate. That way I'm not taking too long or too little, right, for recovery. I was setting my fucking timer, man. This guy just catches me at the wrong time, apparently.
Okay.
And he
Okay,
comes up to me.
I agree with that.
He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, how many sets you got left?" And I told him, like, "Yeah, I got 3 more sets." And he's just like, "Well, get off your fucking phone." And I was like, "Oh, do you pay for an exclusive membership that I don't know about? Like, do you pay for more than I do?" We almost got into it, man.
And now that's when you show him the stopwatch and go, look, fuck face, like right here, like just leave me alone. Okay, I give you that.
Yeah.
I didn't know the depth of the interaction.
But for the most part, I agree with you.
Usually you can tell. Usually you can tell when it's like, all right, like I've been eyeing this asshole and he's been on his phone a good 60, 70% of the time while he's been in here.
Or where you see people taking selfies.
Or taking selfies or just flexing in the mirror and you're like, all right, dude, like, get the fuck out of here. Like you do not have that frame. Like,
we're on the same page.
We're on the same. I think we're on the same page. But yeah, wipe down your shit. Don't hoard all the gear. Get off your phone. Get in and out.
Okay. I would add a few, but I think I agree with every single one you did. So this is something that I call Oreos. Don't be that person.
You have an acronym?
Yeah. No. This isn't an Oreo. No, I call it Oreos because you see someone re-rack, you put the 45, a 10, a 5, and then you put a 45 on top. Don't be that asshole, okay?
Oh, I see what you mean.
There are marked racks for where you put your weights. Like at the minimum, at least put the 45s with the 45s, 35s with the 35s, 25s with 25. But Oreo people are still better than people who don't rack their shit.
Yeah,
rack
I forgot about
your
that.
equipment, people. Like most, seasoned gym goers or people who attend the gym, I think would agree with everything that Eric and I are saying. And then, you said don't hoard like free weights. I'll take that a step further. Like, okay, don't be duffel bag guy where you have a duffel bag, you have your keys, you have your water bottle, you have your territory basically marked at like 4 corners of the gym.
Wait, I thought you weren't allowed to bring your bag into the weight room.
There are certain gyms. So the one I currently go to, you cannot take a bag. But people, like I said, people get creative. Basically just to save machines, right? Where you can tell that someone is clearly on it. But, when it takes you 10 minutes in between each machine to get to it because you're just saving like 5 of them halfway across the gym, like that's just a dick move. Like, do not do that, people. Come on.
Yeah, I think the other one that I've always found funny, it's a dude doing like all the weird ass workouts that don't do anything.
Like the CrossFit pull-ups.
The CrossFit pull-ups is one thing. The dude, I've seen this before, and it's been a while. It's like the guy hanging upside down doing sit-ups. I have no idea what the fuck he's hanging on. But clearly you're just doing that to be a douche. Like that is the only purpose for that. Just out there flexing your abs. Like no one wants to see that shit. Just get in there, get out. Again, back to the etiquette. Just what are you doing, man? Don't be flashy in there.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, like, I don't know when this like started to become a thing, especially with still people our age do it. But even at 4:30 in the morning, man, there's this group of guys, like 6 dudes that come in and they work out together, and they're just like broing out. It's just like frat boy fest. They're still getting a workout in, but like. That's why there's pros and cons of a gym partner, right? It's like 3's a crowd, in my opinion. When you get away with 2, But when you have 6 people just like 5 are just usually standing around. Even if you're doing supersets, at least 3 are standing around. And it's just, to me, how do you get a quality workout? Like that is, I wouldn't enjoy that personally. But maybe that's just because you and I kind of see the gym in the same way where it's not social hour for me. And I don't fault people for doing that, but don't get in other people's way.
Yeah. I mean, well, 3 is okay. I think 3 is a good number. It gives you that little bit of rest, like just a little bit more. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so 2 people's good. 3, I agree. Like it could get a little crowded, but I think it's still doable.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you see like the giant horde out there, like it's too many, man. Yeah. At that point, you guys are just fucking hanging out.
Well, and I miss having a gym partner. I will say because like a gym partner is great for spotting, but just to push you too. I mean, the gym partners I've had, like I don't know how you are, but I'm a pretty competitive person. So, if I see someone like if they're putting on a little bit more weight, I'm like, all right, okay, motherfucker, like I'm gonna put on a little bit more weight, or I'm gonna get this extra rep because this is a competition. But I often lifted with my buddy who I called the Great White Ape, and that was no competition. I mean, the dude's warming up with my maxes in a lot of cases, but what's your when you're younger and so you said you're older now, you're a bit more respectful of the stretching and kind of the preparation, and you're a little more cautious with injuries. I've always said form over fucking heavyweight, man.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I don't like to put up heavy weight every now and then. It's just, it's important. That's how you're going to really build that frame and that foundation too, is form.
Yeah. No, again, like I've never been much of a gym person. I still do it every once in a while, but I've told you guys, like my biggest thing was I was like a big runner. Like I still am. I've done the halves, the full marathons, the ultra marathons, So
what's the longest race you've done, or the hardest?
I mean, that's not a very clear question. So I've done a 50K before. So I ran that in 4.5 hours.
Oh my god!
And so I came right behind. There was 2 professionals running, and I came behind them.
That's almost a double marathon.
The 50K? No, it's 30.
31.2. Oh wait,
K.
That's right.
Yeah,
the K. Yeah. Sorry, thinking about. Yeah, so, all you runners out there, I do know a marathon's the 26.2 miles.
Yeah, so anything above the marathon is considered an ultra. And so I've done the 50K, and then the other one that I did a 12-hour endurance run with a few friends, and that was in a group. And for that one, we ran close to, I think it was a little over like 40 miles in 12 hours. But that was like it was kind of mixed in with like a scavenger hunt.
Wow.
So you had to kind of run to different stations. And at the stations, you had like a little booklet, and there was a stamp, like a certain unique stamp. And then you would collect a certain amount of points and then turn it in.
Okay.
But yeah, that was for 12 hours. And Jesus, for stuff like that, the carbo loading, man, like that was the only good thing. Like I was eating like ice cream and like pizza and like all kinds of junk.
It was always bulking season.
Yeah, it was just strictly for the calories.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, no, I going back to form, like weights is definitely my thing, but we'll be talking about obviously a bunch of different fitness methods and kind of ways to get gains throughout this podcast, because you have a lot of diverse methods. I mentioned I was an athlete. I love playing sports and whatnot. Just anything to stay active, right?
Yeah.
But form is really important, and there's like no excuse anymore. Like you could say, oh, you don't need a personal trainer. Get on YouTube. There's plenty of fitness forums and blogs like that. Like you can see videos of proper form and how to do it.
So when you were big, was it just because you weren't working out enough, or it was just like a calorie intake thing, or were you just always big as a kid?
Yeah, no. So I was definitely overweight as a kid, but like I mentioned, I had always played sports and things like that. And then like went to college, I'm not playing sports anymore. I was never a D1 athlete or anything like that. And just being away from home, ate like shit. It's college, drank, did all that jazz, and then I just decided in college, like all right, I'm going to start hitting the weight. So the first things that I did though that made the biggest impact, probably like cut out sodas. Just started eating a little bit healthier, a lot of chicken, a lot of rice, a lot of broccoli,
Yeah.
just making sure I got that stuff in. And I love cooking anyway, as you'll find out if you keep listening to
So,
us.
so how much weight are you down from like your heaviest right now?
Yeah, so it's been a journey, but I would say the lowest I got to was about 190. So that was about an 80-pound delta, but then I've put on some nice muscle mass in between. So right now I float like between 195 and 205. It just really kind of depends on what I'm trying to do. Uh, Currently at like 200 right now.
Okay, yeah, because I'm at around 170, and same thing. I kind of fluctuate like plus or minus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was joking with you guys. So I went and got that. I went and donated blood, and they gave me back they did the Rona test for antibodies, and so it came back negative, which I was super disappointed. But they also said that I was overweight.
Yeah.
At 170 at 5'9", and I was like, all right, like obviously you guys are like don't know what the hell you're doing. So I just don't believe anything that you're telling me.
BMI is as credible as Fauci, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an outdated metric, and because it doesn't take into account muscle mass and density and some other factors. And one of the other etiquette things I have to say, being a former very overweight person and someone who can look at a donut and gain 5 pounds still, don't judge people at the gym, man. If someone's there at 4:30 in the morning putting in work, even if they don't know what the hell they're doing, they have my respect, man. You are trying to better yourself. Whether you stick with it or not is a different story. But yeah, you have to grow and adapt. And we're sitting here talking about gains in the gym and stuff. Like I am not, I am not like a Reuter. I have never done any gear or anything like that. But I do consider myself a gym rat because I'm there 5-6 days a week. I love it. I love putting it, lifting weights. I try to get 45 to 50-minute workouts in. I try to be pretty efficient. 6 or 7 sets. I throw in supersets, and I try to go for double-digit rep count. That's just like my philosophy with lifting. I would rather get more reps than like I'm not going to go deadlift 315 for 3 reps and call it a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, just stick with it, people. And for those of you who are shaming people at the gym, like fuck you. Like because then you're going to turn people away from it.
Yeah.
Whether you're skinny as hell, trying to shed some pounds, just trying to get healthy, whatever. But please, 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 if you are one of those people, don't be a New Year's resolutioner. Okay,
I do remember that like beginning of January, where like shit would just get ridiculous in there, and then like by mid-January, like, thankfully people were dropping. Not thankfully, I hope you guys keep the New Year's resolutions up. But we all like you can spot them.
Oh yeah,
in there, and you're just like, God damn it! Like you're just in here. Like I can tell you're in here every year.
Oh yeah,
and then you just disappear.
Yeah, I like to joke that it's usually a little after Valentine's Day, and it probably depends on how successful or not you were for Valentine's Day. But yeah, and then you'll have the various seasons of the year. We can get into that sometime where. Typically now as you transition from fall to winter, that's like bulking season, right? And because you're wearing sweaters and stuff like that, and it's cold outside, you might not be doing much cardio. And then, of course, everyone scrambles for what they call beach body season here, even in the desert. But,
How have you dealt with your injuries? Do you see a chiropractor like once? Do you believe? Some people think chiropractors are full of shit. I happen to like mine.
So I'm glad you brought that up about the chiropractor. I was one of those people
that don't. I mean, I don't let them fuck with my neck. I don't let them do.
You gotta let them.
No, dude, that's too. Like I don't know. I just feel it's a little too.
Is that invasive?
It feels a little too invasive, but like I'm all for like the massage therapy, like getting knots out, like that goes such a long way. But like popping your neck, I'm like, like just you don't need to do that to me. Like I'm fine. Yeah.
So here was the turning point for me. So my parents have always been super big about the chiropractor. My mom worked at the chiropractic office for a while. Actually, right before she retired, that's where she retired from. And I think I was 21 or 22 at the time. And I really hurt my shoulder lifting. And of course, being a 21, 22-year-old male,
Fucking power
I
through
I
it.
ignored it for about 7 months. Until one day, like I was convinced that I had like torn my rotator cuff or something, and my dad was like, "You need to go to go to chiropractor." So he forced me to go. Guy took a look at me, like did some adjustments and things like that, and he was just like, okay, work with me here, like for 4 weeks. Just come every week. We'll work on it. Did it. Totally cured it. And what I love about chiropractors, and I'm sure not all of them, but mine in particular, knows a lot about sports science and things like that. And so he diagnosed me. He was saying, you're saying it's your shoulder, but actually it's your pectoral muscle.
Yeah, it's something else is pulling it
so,
out.
So what was happening was my left pec was growing at a faster rate than my lat. And so my chest was actually pulling that muscle down and forward, and I was feeling it like it was a shoulder impingement. And so, we were just fixing it with some biomechanical things. And then he basically told me, don't do shrugs anymore, which I wasn't a big fan of traps anyway. I don't like to look like a turtle. For those of you who like traps, like I get it. It's good to build your delts up and traps. And I advocate for lifting every muscle
group.
But I'm kidding a little bit about the turtle thing. But basically told me to start doing everything wide grip for back. So if I'm doing rows, get the wide grip attachment.
Okay.
Wide grip pull-ups. And that really fixed it because it allowed my lat to grow.
To everything to kind of catch up and balance.
And it's so funny that you say that, but I love getting the neck pop, man. When they do the hip adjustment, you gotta let it happen, man. And actually, one time I went to the chiropractor. He was like, "Did you know you have a rib out of place?" I was like, "No shit, I did not know I had a rib out of place," and that was pretty scary when they popped that back into place.
How does your rib pop out of place?
I believe it occurred. My theory. I believe it occurred during a basketball game. I took a pretty hard elbow.
Okay.
But I never really. It didn't break or crack or no fracture or anything, but it was just slightly out of place apparently, the rib cage. So
when back to when I hurt my hip there, dude, I went to like 4 different doctors, and nobody could fucking help me. And then randomly let me backtrack that. So I kept going to my doctor, and they kept sending me to like physical therapy. They couldn't really figure out what was happening. Get X-ray, fucking MRI, like all that shit. And then when I went into the doctor's office one day, my doctor was busy. And so I just signed up to go with another random doctor, and it was a woman.
Okay.
And so she was a big mountain biker and a runner as well. And so I was complaining about my hip. She was like, "Huh? Like,
is that how the injury occurred?"
Yeah, it was from running. So she, like, kind of pulled down like my shorts a little bit. She was like taking a look at my hips. She's like, "Man, like your hips are like all fucked up." And so she balanced my hips out. Like she like popped them and like got them back into alignment, and like immediately like the pain went away. She's like, "Oh yeah, like it was like, here, like go to the sports medicine doctor." So that's what I consider a chiropractor. Is usually they're in the sports medicine field.
Yeah.
If for tidbit of advice, if like you're hurt, like go to a sports medicine doctor. Like usually they can figure kind of like your issue with like the delt was overgrowing something, because usually you think it's something and it's something else.
Right.
And so for me, with my unbalanced hips, the way that whole injury had started was it was my knee for the longest, and they couldn't find anything wrong. And then like the pain got like excruciating when it finally got to my hip.
Yeah.
And so just by chance, I went to this random lady doctor, and she was like a athletic person, and she recommended me a sports doctor. And like going to the Ariostes was the place. So it's like a chain. I don't know where they have them everywhere. But they have them back in Texas. And working with that dude for about a month, it completely went away. And like, mind you, I had been in pain for like fucking months.
Yeah.
Couldn't sit down. Oof. Couldn't sleep very well. I would stand and the pain would be tolerable. I even got the cortisone shot because the inflammation was so bad, like on my hip. So like it was fucking serious. Just this random doctor was like, "Hey, like go to this place," and they fixed it within a month. That was So if you're hurt, seek out sports medicine. We got like the elite OSM out here. over at Jackson Winks. I know what is Dr.
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah. So
He's got all those
Doctor,
YouTube
yeah,
videos.
Doctor Bo Hightower is the owner. You've seen Doctor Greg, right?
Yeah. I'm usually with Dr.
Yeah,
Greg.
he's pretty. I need to make it over there, but yeah, their YouTube videos are hilarious. They've become sensations. I think they have over like 1 million views or subscribers or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, speaking of chiropractic, so you don't like getting your neck popped, but do you like the Easton machines? Like, did they ever hook you up to that?
Is that the electrode ones?
Yeah.
No, I haven't done that.
You gotta do that.
Usually, what I have them do is like I usually struggle with like my hamstrings. So like he'll fucking dig his elbow into like my hamstrings, like in my like on the glutes, and just like kind of because that's where I get all my knots, and like he just unknots everything, and it's like oh shit, like I can like move again. So I can usually keep the pain off, but like I can feel when like it starts to get tight. So usually I go about once a month.
Well,
And it's just an investment to
yeah,
myself.
you know, guys are pretty good if they're working on all these MMA fighters.
Yeah.
There's shit beat out of them all the time. I mean, so injury, like, so what other injuries have you had? Like for me personally, the shoulder. Another common one is obviously like the lower back. I've hurt my lower back squatting, deadlifting. Again, going back to form. If you watch your form, that won't happen. But that was back when I didn't really care about form. And then non gains related injuries, ankles, man. My ankles, those rubber bands are loose now. My tendons, playing basketball, it's probably my favorite sport to play, but all it takes is that one time you roll it really bad. I've had a couple of really bad high ankle sprains on my right ankle, and then I just did my left one last year, and they like never feel the same.
Thankfully, I've always sucked at basketball, so I've never done. No, I'm serious. Like, so my worst fear is to like blow out a knee, and so like every friend that I've known that has blown out a knee is like, "Oh fuck, we're playing basketball man, out there with the boys," and I'm like, "Fuck that!" Like that sounds like that is my worst fear to blow out a knee because I mean you're looking at 6 months just to get you to where the rehab starts. Like no. Like I'm not doing that shit.
Luckily, I've never had a major knee injury, but I suspect I have some tendonitis in my left knee. That definitely flares up every now and then.
But, yeah, so it's basketball. Don't do that shit. Same thing with skiing. Don't do that shit.
But like, we talked to you in the snowboarding. Yeah. You did pretty good too, man. I took you down the wrong path.
Yeah. So they took me out snowboarding for the first time. Like being from Texas, we don't have any snow out there. So I can actually balance myself pretty good. I was going pretty fast, like off the first day, and then I gave myself a mild concussion, probably.
Allegedly.
No, I think I met all the symptoms where it was like ringing ears, the flashing light. I felt like I was going to throw up. I didn't want to do anything, and I just kind of like sat off to the side. I was like, I think I'm done for the day, and I don't need to do this ever again. So and then the other thing, it's too expensive, man. I'm like, I ain't got time for that shit. I think it was like $100 for a day.
Well, yeah, because you had to rent your stuff.
Yeah, I had to rent, but
fair enough. You went out there. Most snowboarders, though, like even myself, I'm not that experienced, but I didn't start having fun until about the third or fourth time. Like everyone has to go through it. You're just gonna suck. But you were keeping good balance. I think that was kind of your problem. You actually were doing really well, except for the whole stopping.
Yeah, I didn't know how to brake. That was which I think should be the first thing that I should have learned.
Yeah, probably.
All my hobbies, all my like workout time they're cheap. Like I invest in backpacks, camping gear, and rock climbing stuff.
I can respect that. I mean, rock climbing can get pretty expensive if you like.
Really if you're into the trad stuff.
I was gonna say, worked with an engineering consultant out of Denver early on in my career, and he literally would just like work a couple months to save up some money and then travel to all the places around the country and really in the world to go just climb. And he was probably like 5'5", maybe $160 soaking wet. Like he had a solid frame, but dude, his forearms looked like my freaking calves like my quads. Like he had jacked giant forearms.
Yeah, no, I think I've told you guys about the senior citizen crew that I climb with over at the gym. so they're all over 65. And one of the gentlemen, he's like, I really pray to be like maybe about 3/4 of where he's at.
Yeah.
Like in my prime, like right now,
Yeah.
like that dude is a monster. So he's been climbing for, I think he said pretty close to like 40 years. So he used to go out there with like the old school gear where you didn't like had to hammer in. Was it like a few of your anchors and like the not your anchors. So like if you're falling like a crack, like a what would you call? Yeah, I guess you would call it your anchor.
So what's an anchor? Just
so the anchor would be at the very top to where like you can actually like rappel down. It's like the end of the climb.
So you're still belaying. You're not free climbing.
Yeah, no, you're not free climbing. So you're just kind of setting as you're climbing, so where if you fall, like you have protection.
Okay.
But it's the anchors are generally considered like at the very end.
Sure.
But yeah, so this dude's been climbing forever. So I was talking to him about like some of the old school gear that they had, and he was like, oh yeah, like you used to have to go up there and like fucking hammer some shit in, and I was like, nope, like that sounds like pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that dude he's I want to say like 64. He's like 6'3", 6'4", like tall, lanky dude.
Yeah.
And that dude is a monster, man. So the scaling works. Was it at the gym? I think I've seen a few. So I usually climb around 10s or 11. So it's like 10 plus, 10 minus, 11 plus, minus. So I'll do around like 11s or lower if I'm leading. If I'm top roping, like I might take a stab at like 11 plus. Yeah, but he's out there like doing 12s, like leading, and he'll go up and down on those things.
Wow.
And yeah, man, like that stuff like burns out your forearms, and he's just out there just killing it. And it's pretty awesome. So I know he takes out people every once in a while to go do like some of the trad climbing, but that seems like way more dangerous. So
that's outdoors. Right?
Yeah, so that's outdoors. So you have like your sports climb where there's where you can kind of set up your clips as you go up for protection, but like with trad, like you're setting your own gear in there as you go. So there's nothing bolted onto the rock face.
Oh wow.
So you're depending all on your equipment. The way I've heard it described, it's like, oh yeah, like you said, like one or two of those things, and you're like, man, like the last two were like a little janky. So I was like, if I fall, like this is gonna be like a pretty big one. So I try and stay away from that stuff. I think I'll just stick to sports for the time being.
Yeah.
And not kill myself.
Well, you're talking about that gentleman being pretty physically fit. Like what would your ideal body, like if you could, work at it, what would you want to look like? Like, are we talking like, do you have a body fat percentage in mind? Do you have like a certain frame? Like, I'm sure you don't want a Doritos build where you never like work out. You only work out the glory muscles, man. For those of you that don't know, it's just back and chest and upper body all day, curls, and never do any legs.
You got little chicken legs.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's always been about like practicality.
Okay.
So
functionally, right?
Just functionally, like so I can hike, I can carry a shit ton of like weight, in a backpack if I needed to. But like I don't want to be like pudgy. Just like anything, like
what's pudgy to you?
I don't know. Like I've never had the 6-pack. It's been a while since I had the 6-pack. Like probably back when I was in the
Navy.
In the Navy when I was a diver, when I went to dive school. But I still got like the very, very top two. And if I can still see those, like I'm happy with that.
There you go.
Yeah, I still eat a lot, but I try and not keep junk food in the house. So that's, again, I think that's kind of like where the struggle is. As long as I don't keep shit in the house, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I definitely want to lean out a little bit myself, but I'd like, I'm sitting at like 16% body fat right now. I'd like to lower that to about 12.
What's considered overweight for the BMI? I know it's garbage, but I'm trying to remember.
Well, so let me give you a perspective for BMI, right? So at my height at 6'1", for me to be under 25 and in normal weight range, right? So normal would be 24.9. Okay. I would have to be 178.5 pounds. That will never happen for me. I would have to lose a lot of muscle mass to do that, or I'd have to be like at an ungodly like 6% freaking six pack, veins popping out of my arms. But yeah, definitely a little bit more definition. But like yourself, I just want to stay active, want to stay healthy, be functional. Used to joke. Actually, one of my buddies was super into fitness and stuff when we weren't that too serious about it in high school and stuff. And like, one of my other buddies was like, "Well, why do you work out so much?" And he got real defensive and kind of, mad about it. And then he asked my buddy, like, "Well, why do you work out for so much?" And he's like, "Well, for pussy." Like, like. He was joking, but a lot of young men out there are just trying to look good. They used to give me shit at my first workplace too. They were like, because I was eating pretty healthy. Like I try to stay regimented during the week. I definitely have cheat meals and things like that. And you got to have balance, but I'd be heating up my lunches, and these guys in the lunchroom are just bringing in like McDonald's or Hot Pockets and all this processed shit. And they give me a hard time, and they used to always be like, Castillo's not married, guys. He's got to keep his breeding weight. That's what they used to say. I used to get crap all the time. But, and they joke about that. I actually feel like, I've only increased my fitness journey with my wife. They say you get relaxed in serious relationships and stuff, but we've kind of pushed each other. I kind of dig it because that's definitely one thing that's important to me, like fitness, nutrition, all that stuff is really important. And I think if someone else that I was with didn't take it seriously, I don't think we would jive. So
I mean, me being single, I guess I do look for that in women that I am dating.
At least that they take care of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be a slouch, man. Like I'm out here doing all kinds of wild shit. So. I don't know, man. Just weird times.
Weird times,
man. Good old Roma.
Well, we talked about the mask stuff. I'm digging the lack of crowdedness, even at 4:30 in the morning. Believe it or not, a lot of people do go to the gym that early. They like to start their day before going to work. So I'm digging it, man. Like less than 100 people. I'm never waiting for anything really. Like I definitely enjoy that. It'll be interesting to see how the gym evolves coming out of this thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. A lot of them have just been like shut down, period.
Well, yeah.
We'll see if they even survive this fucking thing.
Well, we're lucky here that, we've actually had minimal interruption compared to some other places. I know like in the UK, gyms were closed from March until like a few weeks ago. Like we're talking like August time frame where they reopened for the first time, and obviously with limited capacity, they got to jump through all these sanitation hurdles and things like that because humans are disgusting, like we were talking about earlier. The pet peeves, never wipe shit down.
Yeah,
like that's a concept that has blown my mind. Like, why would you not wash your hands after working out at the gym, after touching all this stuff? Like, and even, you think about like your phone, even like how dirty that probably is and how often you're on it. But no, I think, and then a lot of people spent a lot of money on, we were talking about, you couldn't get any gym equipment. Everything was being bought up. Like things are still on back order.
Toilet paper, ammo.
Toilet paper, ammo, and fitness, man. That was the priority of the pandemic. That's what I learned about human beings. But, if I were one of those individuals who bought all that stuff, I'd probably not want to go back to the gym too. It's like, well, shit, I bought all this. So I'm hoping that, there's more of these people that give up on this thing, on their working out when things kind of return to normal, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm hoping I can buy up a lot of this stuff cheaply, and because
I think it'll happen. Stuff's hopefully. I'm trying to be optimistic here. Like,
why selfishly now? With I plan on doing a custom build home here in the relatively near future. I will certainly make sure I have space for a home gym. I will build it.
Is that going to be in the garage?
I will build it over time. I'm going to do the third car garage that will be dedicated to the gym.
Yeah, sure. I think I would like that as well. I think I've told you guys about my plans here at some point to kind of extend it out, like the bedroom and maybe get a sunroom.
Oh yeah.
And I think I would have it in there, like in the sunroom.
Well, my dad, man, like you were talking about your senior citizen friend. My dad will be 67 in December. Like, if I look half as good as he does, but he's always worked out at home.
Okay.
He's never been a gym goer either. He's always got a setup at home and stuff. And so, I could have gone there during this time, but as differing opinions and things that we were told during this whole thing, I wasn't going to put my parents at risk or anything like that. So.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I've always been pretty good at making do with the least amount. And I think that goes back to the like being on the submarines.
Yeah.
So on the submarine,
prison workouts for
prison
sure.
workouts for sure. I can't really tell you. I mean, we had under 150 people. We'll just keep it at that.
Yeah.
And then, so we had one treadmill, one rowing machine, two adjustable benches, two adjustable dumbbell sets, and rubber bands, and
Wow.
that's it.
Wow.
And so you had to like rotate out. So what was interesting, like me being a runner and trying to stay in shape for being a diver for the military as well, because physical fitness is one of the things that they measure pretty often for you.
How often were you doing like a physical test, like just to?
I think it was every 6 months. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But it all depended on your deployment cycle.
Still relatively frequently.
Yeah, more than others.
Yeah.
But I remember like trying to run on the treadmill while we were at a certain depth to where like you can feel the waves kind of rocking. So you're just like basically rocking and running like on this fucking treadmill. And and it's not like it was like a designated spot for the treadmill. They just kind of put it where it would fit. And so you had like this giant bar like across your face. So you would just stare at this stupid like pipe as you were running.
Dude, that's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it sucked, dude. So I know I've told my family before. So, but on your deployments, they control the oxygen levels.
Okay.
And so they intentionally let the oxygen levels drop in order to minimize the fuel for fires.
Okay.
So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the side effects is like you're always tired of shit because you don't have enough oxygen.
Right.
If you cut yourself, like these cuts take forever to heal. And if you're trying to do like cardio, if I would do like a hard run, I remember like getting off the treadmill, like my fingertips.
Would you be pretty lightheaded?
Yeah, well, a little bit, but like I just remember looking at my fingers and they would be like a light purple, and you're like, oh fuck. Yeah, that was an interesting way to work out on the subs. Yeah, good times.
All right, well, why don't we do this for our next gym episode? Let's price out and build our dream gyms at home. We'll tell the people, and we'll see how different they turn out to be. I have a feeling yours will be more prison-like. Mine might be a little different, but
dude, mine's gonna be like under $1,000. Like,
well, and see, when I think of my budget, I'm like, I want to keep it under 10. It's like that's why I'd have to build mine over time. So that'll be a fun thing to do, and I want to hear about more of your workout stories in the submarine at depths, man. And I'll talk about some of the crazier shit that I've seen in the gym. But as always, we like to end our segments with something called "Get Off My Lawn." It's a segment where we have 60 seconds to rant about something that's been bothering us this week, and just for people to get the hell off my lawn and leave me alone. So, what do you got for us, Eric?
All right, so I have two written down, but I'll just go with the easier one.
All right,
is the get off my lawn is going to be just Californians, like just period. Everybody hates. I know everyone says everyone hates people from Texas, but no, everybody hates people from fucking California.
Spoken from a person who's from Texas.
Yeah, but Texas is cool. That's why so people are leaving California and moving to Texas. So that'll tell you something about that.
No arguments here.
So if you're leaving California, keep your fucking politics out. Like, keep it out of our states. If I had my way, you wouldn't be able to vote in that state for, after maybe 2 years or so. I think it's bullshit. You get to move and bring all your crap policies. I want to keep all my guns. Yeah, man. Even Californians don't like Californians. Like, that's just a fact. So let me see. So I want to talk about the Exodus. I want to talk about Pelosi. Fucking walking through the goddamn hair salon. I don't know. The whole state is full of hypocrites. Just You guys wanted that. You fucking live in it. Stay out of our states.
No explanation needed.
Yeah,
man.
that's all I got.
I did love visiting like the San Diego, Southern Cal area as a kid, but yeah, man, it's a shit show. I was in San Francisco last year.
They have a shit police in San
Yeah.
Francisco.
Needless to say, I probably won't be going back anytime soon. The touristy areas were cool, but yeah, it is literally a dumpster fire in some areas over there. So I hear you.
Yeah, it is a shit show in the streets. There's literal shit on the streets. No. Yeah. All right, go ahead, man. That was my just fucking California.
No,
I think everybody hates him.
I hear you. So my get off my lawn is so my wife has been a vegetarian and I guess more appropriately a pescatarian now for about 4 years. But one of my pet peeves is like when we call foods that aren't meat like meat. So cauliflower steaks in particular. Okay, like. Don't call it what it is. It's roasted fucking cauliflower, and you're charging me $30 for it at a restaurant. Like,
is it really that much?
You know how many heads of cauliflower I can get? Well, typically you're only going to find these at like either more vegan spots or more upscale spots.
The yuppie spots, as I call them.
And they're charging at least $20 here, but you go to other places with a higher cost of living, like talk about your Californians. I guarantee you pay $30 for a roasted cauliflower steak. It is not steak, people. I don't hate on cauliflower. My wife has made some very good roasted cauliflower steaks, but call it what it is. Roasted cauliflower. That is not a steak, people. It does not move, does not bleed. It's not a steak.
Yeah. I'm sorry I bashed on California. I didn't mean to offend you guys. I'm just saying, if you left for a good reason, just remember why you left and don't let it happen again. That's all I really want to say.
Well, thanks again for listening in, and next time we'll be talking about some goals.
All right, man.